Hey guys, welcome to this new video. In today's video, we're gonna discuss about the cost of living and budget you have to plan if you wanna live in Vietnam. So right now, I'm visiting a new project. This is Go Vap district in Ho Chi Minh City, and this complex has been done by Cityland. It's called Cityland Park Hill. And in this video, I want to give you an update about the expenses and the costs. So we're going to break down all the different most important expenses and costs that you have to consider if you want to come to Vietnam and live here as an expat. So because of the inflation and rising price worldwide in commodities, it does impact the cost of living in Vietnam. But before we get started, why preparing and having an idea about the cost of living is important as an expat? First, because you may take several months before finding a job. So do you want to be in a financial burden and have to always worry about moving overseas? And when you come here, you also want to have an idea about how much every month you have to expect for your expenses, so you can plan ahead. You plan everything in advance before moving overseas, and you can come to Vietnam and have a joyful experience and an amazing journey relocating to Vietnam. Let's go now to the 7 most important expenses and costs that you have to plan if you want to be an expat in Vietnam. Let's get started. So the first thing and the first expense you will have as an expat, it's about the housing, finding and renting your apartment. So basically, it's gonna depend on the standard you wanna have. For instance, if you choose to live in a condominium, you can pay from 15 million up to 20 million per month, but you have everything. You have all the convenience and amenities to be living here and having a good life as an expat. For instance, we have swimming pool, fitness center, security downstairs, convenience store nearby your apartment. So you're sure that you have a pleasant stay here in Ho Chi Minh City. That's why many expats are actually choosing those kind of condominium housing to live in Vietnam. You can also go to local districts such as the one we are here today in Go Vap, and on those districts you will usually find small houses that you can rent and share with friends and other expats working here. You can have maybe a room that you can share, and then you have other friends living in the same house with you. And for those kind of shared housing, you can expect to pay roughly around $200 per month, and you share the house with other expats. So that's the 2 options that you can have. So either you go to a district like District 1, District 2, District 7 that provide condominium and serviced apartments that are more foreigner friendly, or you go to more local districts just like Binh Tan, Go Vap, Tu Duc, and over there you will have a more local experience and expect to have a cheaper cost in renting apartments or houses. Now the second expense you will have every month, it's about the healthcare. So basically, if you go to the doctor, if you have a small accident, if you want to clean your teeth, things like that, you will have costs. I hope that you won't have every month, but that's the budget you need to plan to have in Vietnam for those kind of emergency and services. But finally, it will be very cheap compared to the West. If you go here to the dentist in Vietnam for a clean teeth, you can pay around 1 million. If you go to international hospital, it may be a little bit more expensive, but you have a lot of local options. So I invite you to check the different healthcare services that you have in town and find one that is fitting your budget. You have the component of the health insurance that you have to take into consideration. It becomes something mandatory for expats during that pandemic time. This is something that authorities may still considering and make it mandatory in the future, but for your own safety, it's something you have to consider. So if you have any accident that happen, you're sure that you are covered. I have a personal health insurance that costs me roughly around $400 per year. It's a pretty good local insurer, but still provide me the benefit and the coverage that I expect. But depending on the standard and the amount of refunds that you expect to have if you have any emergency inpatient or outpatient care, you can go either to local or international providers. You have plenty of options available, so depending on your standard, you can choose something that is suitable for your budget. Now, the third expense that you have to consider, it's about your visa. So if you have a legit situation in Vietnam, for instance, if you are working here or doing business here or investing here, you should have the proper visa that is taken care from your company. And if you are only here as a tourist, you usually only have right now the e-visa option. So it means that it's only available from 1 month maximum, so you have to take care about some logistic going out and in the country doing some visa run. So it's something that will add a lot of extra cost to the initial expenses. This is not an option that is suitable for long-term staying in Vietnam, but still some are using this solution. So roughly, to give you an idea, of $30 every time you have to renew or apply for a new visa, but because you have to leave the country, go for instance to Cambodia or to Thailand, and you have expenses like flight, accommodation, a couple of days over there. So you have to plan a budget of $300 per month just to take care about this new visa policy for people who cannot apply for long-term visa like other expats in Vietnam. Obviously, the best ways is to go to long-term staying in Vietnam. Let's say you are doing a business here, you are finding a job, so you're sure that you get the long-term visa and the TRC that is usually for 2 years. Now we come to the fourth expense, that is about transportation. So either you rent a bike or you buy your own bike if you want to travel within Vietnam. Let's discuss about this on another spot. So what about the transportation? Actually, recently, because of the rising cost of the crude oil everywhere, here in Vietnam, we observe a rise from 20k up to 30k per liter. So 30k Vietnam dong is roughly over $1, so it's quite significant, because obviously for the local people here, the Vietnamese who are taking their bike every day, they have to drive 10-15 kilometers outside of the city sometime. It can add huge expenses for them. Of course, for expats, it's another extra cost that we have to add on our monthly budget. But coming back to the initial matter about cost in terms of transportation in Vietnam, either you rent your own bike, you can, for instance, have a scooter that you rent or a motorbike that you rent in Ho Chi Minh City that's gonna cost you around $50 per month. And then either you choose to buy your own bike. You can buy second-hand bike that's gonna cost you around $300, or you can go to more premium bike or motorbikes that are gonna cost you $1,000, $2,000, depending again on what you are looking for. And then when we talk about traveling in Vietnam, here everything will be very cheap. In Vietnam, for instance, we have a lot of transportation vehicle. You can have the car, you can have the taxi, you can have also the travel bus if you want to travel outside of the city. So that's the sleeping bus that are very comfortable. You can pay $10, $15 to drive 6-7 hours. So it's very easy from Saigon to reach Dalat, to reach Nha Trang, or to go to the south of Mekong Delta. This is very cheap and a very popular option to travel within Vietnam. If you choose the option of taking a flight, you can count around 1 million, 1.5 million for a flight ticket if you are buying a little bit late, but if you are planning your holiday way ahead and in advance, you can pay 600 Vietnam dong, so it's around $30 for a flight within Vietnam. Now, what about the entertainment? That's something that many expats are looking forward when they are coming to Asia and especially Vietnam. Here, this is the same, everything will be very cheap. We will talk about the food in the end of the video, but when we talk about entertainment, going out, doing activities with friends, taking your motorbike and going outside of the city, booking some tours, basically enjoying life and doing a lot of activities, it will be way more cheaper than in the West. If we talk about nightlife like alcohol, cigarettes, I don't smoke personally, but this is something that is very cheap. You can really hang out, enjoy the nightlife here in Ho Chi Minh City that is pretty vibrant and crazy with a budget that will be way less important than what you have to expect if you want the same kind of lifestyle in the West. You can really hang out with friends to very local places like here in Go Vap, and you may know places like Bui Vien or other nightlife spots and location in Ho Chi Minh City. Everything gonna be very cheap. You can, for instance, have a beer for $1 on Bui Vien and some other drinks for like $2-3 on the street. But you can also go to rooftop bar and you can have almost the same price that it is in the West. If you want to have a cocktail on the very nice rooftop bar, you can expect paying $7 or $8. If you go also to some very nice bar with good concept that are very trendy, sometimes they have some live music bands, they are very popular and suitable for dating purpose. Over there you will still have drinks that will cost you from $7 to $8 per drink. But still, what is interesting in Vietnam is that you can either choose to live on the budget and have a very easy and cheap life, or you can have a more premium and luxury lifestyle here if you like to go to fancy restaurants, coffee shops, bars that I was mentioning. You can entertain yourself a lot and have a premium life. Now, the sixth expense you can consider, it's vacation. I introduced it already a little bit in the previous topic. If you wanna come to Vietnam, you can also enjoy going on vacation and traveling with a more competitive price compared to what it would require you if you wanted to have the same lifestyle, activities, travel experience or vacations in your home country. Let's take an example. In Vietnam, you can have a 4-star hotel or even a 5-star in some nice island in the south, just like Phu Quoc or Nha Trang or even Da Nang. You can expect to pay $80 or $100. And if you wanna have the same kind of standard in your home country, you can maybe double or triple that price. If you wanna as well during those holidays doing some fancy tour, going to nice resorts, having luxury tours. For instance, I remember a tour we had in Ha Long Bay. We took the premium package and finally for the whole day it cost for each person only $70. $70 was including taking you from Hanoi, then bring you to Ha Long Bay. You have a very nice cruise, not so many people inside, the buffet, a lot of things, a lot of activities during the day, and then bring you back from Ha Long Bay to Hanoi. $70, when you compare that budget in countries just like in France or in other Western countries, you cannot expect a lot, probably a normal restaurant, or if you wanna consider about accommodation, it won't be something very nice. So here it's obvious that taking holidays and vacations in Vietnam gonna be very cheap, and it's something many expats and tourists are looking for while coming to Vietnam. Okay, so here we are for the last part and maybe the most important for expats traveling to Vietnam. This is about the food. So obviously it's gonna be very cheap if you wanna buy food in Vietnam. You have a lot of variety. You can go to, again, very premium 5-star restaurant. You're gonna pay the same price that you will pay in the West, or you go to more local food. And we have here a banh mi. That the banh mi is a typical dish that we have here for breakfast. Here I order it with Thit Heo Wei. So this is pork with a lot of vegetable. I ask for Khom Khai, so not spicy, because here they will always put chili, and this brand is actually pretty good in Go Vap. So if you are coming to Go Vap to visit this district, you can pay a visit to that banh mi place. This relates to other dishes that are very popular: Mi Quang, Com Tam, Bun Bo Hue, Bun Tit Nung, Bun Ryu, Pho obviously, and all the dishes you can buy from 30k on the street, 50k in small family restaurants, that is around $2. And if you go to more normal restaurants, that I would say can cost you around 100k, but you can always find the option that is on the street. If you want to have a local experience, you can go to very local and small restaurants that will be family owned, and you can have a budget approximately $2 per meal. This one cost me around 20k, so it's not even $1. If you wanna complement this with a coffee, cafe soda, cafe denda, the typical Vietnamese coffee, you can add 15k or 20k. So finally you will have and will enjoy a breakfast for less than $2. Talking about the food, there is another thing that is very convenient in Vietnam: all the different delivery apps. You have Grab, Shopee Food, Baemin, Gojek, etc. You have a bunch. You can find most of the shop and store on those apps. You can order directly food at home. Sometimes you have some kind of voucher promotion and things like that. You can even make good deal and try new food using those apps. So this is something very convenient that you have. And finally, I wanna wrap up a little bit all the different information of this video and give you an overall monthly budget that you can plan. If you wanna live on budget, you can live in Vietnam maybe from 600 to 700 US dollar per month. Of course, you will have to choose to live in a very local district, maybe small housing. In terms of lifestyle, you have to go a lot to small restaurants, coffee shop, etc., and having a very local experience. This is something that is doable, but I would say that for the average expats living here for a while, sometimes you like to go out, you wanna travel, you also maybe wanna have a nice apartment with swimming pool, gym, etc. I think the average budget and expenses that you should plan is around 1.5k per month. So it's gonna include all the different things that I mentioned today, and obviously you can also have a way more premium lifestyle in Vietnam. If you travel a lot, if you like to go to 5-star hotel, restaurants, go to bars every night or very often, the budget will be way more expensive. It's obvious. This is again my own experience and thoughts about this topic, so maybe you may disagree with me on some of the expenses I shared, but again, this is only my own experience talking about cost of living and budget that you have to plan to be living in Vietnam. Feel free to go below in the comment and tell me your thoughts about the expenses we discussed today. Maybe I forget some of them that are very important, so feel free to add them below in the comments. I will be very happy to interact with you guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, and I see you in the next video, and I'm gonna enjoy my banh mi. Bye bye.
And I'ma get it right, dead on sight like